Look at a forest for long enough, and someone's going to tell you it's the reason you're alive. Trees are the lungs of the earth. You've heard that 100 times. Maybe you said it yourself in a 4th grade science project. Here's the problem. It's not true, not even close. And the actual answer is something you have never seen, will never see, and could not see even if you tried. So if it's not the trees keeping you breathing, what is? Turns out there's more than one answer, and the second one is weirder than the first. Section 1. What trees actually do. Quick refresher. And I promise this is the boring part. Trees take in carbon dioxide, use sunlight to break it apart, and release oxygen. Basic photosynthesis. That part's real. But here's the number people don't expect. Add up every forest on the planet. The Amazon, the boreal forests in Canada and Russia, all of it. And you get roughly 28% of the world's oxygen. Under a third. So where's the other 70-something% coming from? Section 2. The real source. The ocean. Specifically, something so small you've never seen one and never will. Phytoplankton. They're microscopic. A single drop of seawater can hold thousands of them, and scientists estimate they're responsible for over half of the oxygen in Earth's atmosphere. Some studies push that number even higher. Let that sit for a second. The majority of the air you just breathed in didn't come from a rainforest. It came from something invisible, floating near the surface of an ocean you've probably never even visited. Section 3. The single organism twist. Now here's where it gets ridiculous. Out of all the phytoplankton species on Earth, there's one, a type of bacteria called prochlorococcus, that's estimated to produce around a fifth of the oxygen in our entire atmosphere, on its own. One organism, so small it wasn't even discovered until the 1980s, producing more oxygen, by some estimates, than every tropical rainforest on the planet combined. The Amazon gets documentaries. Prochlorococcus doesn't even get a Wikipedia page most people have read. That feels backwards. But here's the part that actually changes how you should think about this, and it's not just the ocean wins. A mature forest, old growth, the kind we picture when we say lungs of the earth, isn't pumping out oxygen the way you'd assume, because everything living on that forest floor, the fungi, the insects, the bacteria breaking down fallen leaves and dead wood, is consuming oxygen too, constantly. In a healthy, mature forest, what the trees produce and what the forest floor consumes are close to a closed loop. The net contribution to the atmosphere from an old, stable forest is much smaller than the lungs of the earth image suggests. That doesn't mean forests are useless. It means we've been crediting them for the wrong job. Section 5. Why the myth exists. So why did we all grow up believing this? Simple. You can see a tree. You can hug one. You can watch a forest for hours and feel like you're witnessing something being made. You cannot do any of that with a bacterium 1,000 times smaller than a grain of sand, floating in open ocean. We trust what we can see. Phytoplankton never had a marketing team. Why this actually matters. Here's the part that's genuinely worth paying attention to. Forests, even if they're closer to oxygen neutral than we thought, still matter enormously for storing carbon, regulating rainfall, holding ecosystems together. That part isn't in question, but phytoplankton are more fragile than most people realize. They're sensitive to ocean temperature, to acidification, to pollution, including microplastics, which research has already shown can interfere with photosynthesis in species like Prochlorococcus. The exact organism producing a fifth of your oxygen is being measurably affected by something we put in the water. So next time someone tells you to hug a tree, to say thanks for the air in your lungs, you might be thanking the wrong plant. Picture that forest again, same one from the beginning. Beautiful, important, just not the reason you're breathing right now. The real reason is somewhere you'll never go, at a size you'll never see, doing a job it's never gotten credit for. And if that one invisible organism is already feeling the effects of what's happening to our oceans, that's probably a question worth asking before it becomes a bigger one.